Welcome to our Trump Briefing Show, where today's news is packed with high-stakes international drama. First up, Ukraine's President Zelenskyy is meeting with US and European leaders in Rome, just before a critical call between Trump and Putin. Tensions are soaring with Russia launching its biggest drone attack since the invasion started, causing casualties and damage, while Zelenskyy pushes for peace and diplomacy, even meeting with the Pope. It's a tense diplomatic dance with lots of moving parts. Next, in Gaza, Israel has launched its largest ground operation since March, with intense airstrikes killing over 100 Palestinians, including children. Hospitals are shutting down, and the humanitarian crisis deepens as supplies are cut off, all amid ongoing conflict sparked by Hamas's attack on Israel. The situation is dire, with international efforts for a ceasefire struggling to gain ground, and the violence showing no signs of stopping. Finally, in the US, President Trump is in the headlines again, this time threatening to sue ABC over coverage of a luxury jet from Qatar, and there's a lot of talk about trade tariffs and global negotiations. Meanwhile, Trump's nominated Dr. Casey Means for Surgeon General, a controversial figure with holistic health views that challenge mainstream medicine. Plus, celebrities like Bruce Springsteen are making headlines, blending music, politics, and global relations in this lively news mix. Please continue to stay tuned for more details. The Toronto Star vividly captures the tense diplomatic dance unfolding in Rome, where Ukrainian President Zelenskyy meets with top US and European officials amid a brutal escalation of Russia's drone barrage. Zelenskyy emphasizes the importance of real diplomacy and a full and unconditional ceasefire, as Ukraine faces its largest drone assault since the invasion began, with 273 drones launched by Russia targeting Kyiv and other regions. Despite the chaos, Zelenskyy's diplomatic efforts include discussions on sanctions, trade, defense cooperation, and prisoner exchanges, highlighting Ukraine's unwavering pursuit of peace amid relentless attacks that have claimed lives and wounded civilians, including a woman killed in Kyiv. RFI offers a nuanced narrative of Zelenskyy's reconciliation with Western leaders, especially his meeting with Vice President J.D. Vance, signaling a thaw after previous tensions. Zelenskyy underscores the importance of international support and Vatican involvement, expressing gratitude for the Holy See's willingness to facilitate direct negotiations between Ukraine and Russia. Meanwhile, Russia's President Putin dismisses Ukraine's calls for face-to-face talks, instead emphasizing Moscow's focus on eliminating the causes of the conflict, an euphemism for Moscow's grievances over NATO expansion, Russian-speaking populations, and perceived threats to its security. The recent Istanbul talks, which resulted in a prisoner swap, seem to be a fragile step in a broader, complex chess game where both sides are entrenched in their narratives of justice and security. BBC paints a stark picture of the ongoing conflict, reporting Russia's unprecedented drone assault that targeted Kyiv and other regions, killing one woman and injuring several others. The attack, involving 273 drones, underscores Russia's apparent determination to continue its offensive despite international calls for a ceasefire. The timing of these strikes, just before a pivotal phone call between Trump and Putin, underscores the geopolitical stakes at play. While Zelenskyy attends Vatican ceremonies and meets with Western allies, the war's brutality persists, with Ukraine asserting that Russia's recent actions demonstrate Moscow's refusal to seek peace. The previous face-to-face talks in Turkey yielded little more than a prisoner exchange, leaving the future of negotiations shrouded in uncertainty amid ongoing hostilities and diplomatic maneuvering. The Toronto Star vividly depicts the ongoing devastation wrought by Israel's recent large-scale military incursion into Gaza, where extensive ground operations and relentless airstrikes have resulted in over 103 casualties, including many children. Hospitals, overwhelmed and under siege, have been forced to shut down, emblematic of the humanitarian crisis unfolding amid the conflict. The narrative emphasizes the brutal reality faced by Palestinians, with residents fleeing on foot or donkey carts, pleading for mercy as they endure displacement and loss. Israel's military, mobilizing tens of thousands of reservists, aims to seize territory and displace Palestinians, while Hamas steadfastly refuses to disarm or leave Gaza, demanding a full withdrawal of Israeli forces. The violence continues unabated, with hospitals targeted and civilians caught in the crossfire, highlighting the tragic toll of this relentless war, which has been further complicated by the blockade and the international diplomatic efforts to broker a ceasefire. Al Jazeera provides a comprehensive update on the complex diplomatic and military maneuvers surrounding the Ukraine-Russia conflict amidst the broader geopolitical tensions. Leaders from Germany, the UK, France, and Poland are actively engaging with US officials, including President Trump, in an effort to coordinate their response ahead of a crucial call between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. The dialogue underscores the fragile state of diplomacy, with Ukraine's President Zelenskyy seeking stronger sanctions and international support as Russian forces intensify their attacks, including record drone assaults and missile launches targeting Ukrainian cities. The talks in Istanbul, which resulted in a prisoner exchange, reveal the delicate balance of negotiations, with Russia demanding territorial concessions before considering a ceasefire, an ultimatum Kyiv firmly rejects. Meanwhile, Ukraine faces ongoing assaults, civilian casualties, and the threat of nuclear escalation, as both sides prepare for further confrontations amid the tense diplomatic backdrop. The Independent reports on Donald Trump's escalating legal and political battles, focusing on his public disputes with ABC News over the controversial gift of a $400 million jet from Qatar. Trump, defiantly claiming that the plane is a donation to the U.S. military rather than himself, vehemently criticizes media coverage he deems false and defamatory. His accusations extend to alleged attempts by ABC to tarnish his reputation, including a previous $15 million settlement over a defamation lawsuit. Trump's rhetoric underscores his combative stance toward the press and his efforts to control the narrative surrounding his presidency and personal dealings. The controversy highlights the broader tensions in American politics, where allegations of media bias, legal threats, and high-profile disputes over foreign gifts and military upgrades illustrate the deep polarization and ongoing battles over truth and influence in the post-presidential landscape. CNN reports that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has warned that tariff rates will revert to reciprocal levels if the U.S. and its trade partners fail to negotiate new agreements within a 90-day window. President Trump's administration, which initially imposed tariffs on April 2 and later paused them, is now pressuring countries to make deals, with Bessent indicating that the U.S. is focusing on 18 key trading partners. The markets responded positively to recent de-escalations in trade tensions with China, where tariffs on Chinese imports were reduced from 145% to 30%, and duties on U.S. goods from 125% to 10%. Bessent emphasized that the U.S.'s strategy involves strategic uncertainty, aiming to leverage negotiation leverage without revealing too much certainty, which he believes will ultimately benefit American consumers and businesses. However, small businesses, like Walmart, face rising costs as tariffs are passed down, prompting warnings of inflation and price hikes. Additionally, Moody's downgrade of the U.S. credit rating from AAA to AA1 has stirred concerns about increased borrowing costs, although Bessent dismisses the downgrade as insignificant, despite its potential to influence Treasury yields and global financial stability. The Independent highlights President Trump's nomination of Dr. Casey Means for Surgeon General, a Stanford-educated surgeon and outspoken vaccine skeptic, as part of his Make America Healthy Again agenda. Means, known for her advocacy of metabolic health and holistic medicine, has expressed skepticism about vaccines and the safety of certain medical practices. Aligning with the views of HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., she has questioned early childhood vaccinations and promoted the idea that the current vaccine schedule might contribute to health declines. Means also advocates for a more natural approach to health, criticizing the overregulation of raw milk and emphasizing the importance of connecting with nature, which she links to broader environmental and health issues. Her views extend to criticizing the medical system's focus on treating symptoms rather than root causes, and she has voiced concerns about the overprescription of birth control pills, linking hormonal disruptions to environmental toxins. Despite her lack of children, Means sees motherhood as a vital goal and believes that natural health practices and environmental respect are essential for addressing America's health crisis. Her nomination has sparked controversy, as she prepares for Senate hearings amid debates over her medical and ideological stances. The Independent vividly captures a charming encounter in Yorkshire where Bruce Springsteen, the legendary musician, and Stephen Graham, the acclaimed actor, shared a humble yet memorable lunch at Norman's restaurant in Kirkburton. The scene was filled with excitement, especially for Graham, who recently earned praise for his powerful portrayal of Douglas in Netflix's Adolescence and is set to star as Springsteen's father in the upcoming biopic Deliver Me from Nowhere. The moment was so electrifying that staff members at the restaurant were left in a daze, floating on cloud nine after the visit from these two icons. Springsteen's heartfelt appreciation for Graham's acting was evident when he sent him touching texts after watching his performance, revealing a deeply personal connection that moved Graham to tears. Meanwhile, Springsteen himself made headlines during his Manchester concert, boldly criticizing the current U.S. administration as corrupt and treasonous, prompting a fiery response from Donald Trump, who dismissed him as an overrated rocker. This exchange highlights the deep political divides and the power of celebrity voices in shaping public discourse. The Independent also reports on filmmaker Richard Linklater's dismissive stance toward President Trump's proposed film tariffs, which threaten to impose a 100% tax on foreign-made movies entering the U.S. in an effort to revive American cinema. Linklater skeptically remarked at Cannes that Trump's unpredictable decisions are not worth taking seriously, emphasizing that the cost of independent filmmaking remains stable over decades. The potential tariffs are seen as a disastrous blow to the industry, especially as many filmmakers have already relocated production to countries like the UK and Canada to cut costs. Industry leaders warn that such protectionist policies could devastate Hollywood, which has been losing business to international competitors, and call for the US to emulate the French model of nurturing their film industry through government support and cultural investment. Meanwhile, actors like Zoe Deutch expressed a desire to see more movies produced in Los Angeles, praising France's commitment to maintaining a vibrant film culture, and highlighting the importance of government backing to sustain the arts in America. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.